A very good afternoon, everybody. It is part 2 of a brand new launch of Carnation Crafts, and we're Carnation Crafts TV. If you've just found us for the very first time, quite often you'll find us do live shows with Carla and Taz, and I come along when there's a launch a couple of times a month, and it's great to be here again. And thank you for all your input into the shows as well, because we are live on Facebook with your interactive comments, and also on YouTube, of course, as well. And you tell us what you're up to, you tell us what you like, you tell us what you think, and 99% of the time it's all great. You love exactly what Carnation Crafts does. No, I'd say 100% of the time you love what Carnation Crafts does, absolutely. And overwhelmingly we have people saying, yes Dave, it reminds me of maybe a cruise that I did with my other half or my family. It reminds me maybe of visits to historical buildings, maybe New York or the West End, a theatre in your town or city, because we're talking about the incredible Art Deco, and we're talking about this collection, the Golden Age. Got that song, I'm putting on my top hat, brushing up my white tie, putting on my tails. Is that right? The song, the lyrics?
It could be whatever you want, Dave.
Yeah, thanks. They're looking at me kind of, what? It's making me think Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, thinking Downton Abbey, all the kind of classic historical period dramas. You know, that era of sheer opulence and excess as far as fashion goes, the dramatic architecture as well. Art Deco, I think, is probably one of the most loved and most cherished periods in anyone's kind of crafting collection. And what we've got today is proving to be so popular because, well, you know, this is the launch day. This is not available anywhere else for the time being. 40% of the stock of this is gone. Now, all we've done with this is Carla did a Facebook Live with it last night as a little tease to give you a chance of getting a hold of it ahead of the game. Lots of you did. And we've done one live show today at 9 o'clock, which you can watch back if you missed it on Facebook or YouTube a bit later after we've done our live shows today. So 40% of the entire collection has gone in one live show. Let me talk you through it. The heart of any collection from Carnation is obviously the main card shape. Now this is the stepper, and if you're not sure quite what a stepper looks like, let me just show you this one here. The die does all the hard work for you. It literally cuts and scores. So a stepper like no other. Normally stepper cards are very straight, very angular, very rectangular. And you've been there and seen that and done that probably 100 times. But this has got wonderful shape to it. And of course, you've then got all the layering dies as well that work with it too. So you haven't got to measure, you haven't got to go and kind of make sure that there's a millimetre less there and a millimetre less there. The dies do it all for you. And around the top, you can, and I missed this when I first looked at it. I was so engrossed with the main die set, I didn't actually see the flowers. You can use those floral dies to such great effect. Look at this. So this is just parts of that stepper using just the, well, left-hand side on your screen, and then decorating it with these beautiful flowers around the top. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous shaped centerpiece that you can see there as well. Again, you can use it obviously portrait or landscape if you wish to. So that's the main heart of the collection. That's where it all starts. But you can use other, of course, card shapes with it too. But then you've got all these other. You've got the fine and dine, or fine and dance. So there you've got the top hat, you've got the cane, you've got the brogue shoes as well. Very, very swish, very, very dapper. Great for masculine cards, obviously. Over here, we've got the evening awaits. Now, I think this is genius, not putting a head on the character. You might think, well, why is that genius? Because sometimes if you see someone's facial features or hair colour, you think, oh, that's not his hair colour, that's not her hair colour, it doesn't look anything like her. But when you haven't got an image there at all on the face, it's just the image of a lady, image of a gentleman, very, very useful, very, very generic, but beautiful and glamorous as well. Then down the bottom, all the accessories that you associate with the Charleston and all that sort of thing going on. You've got your favourite drink, your tipple, the cheers, what does that say? Cheers tipple, cheers tipple. So there's your martini glass.
Chosen tipple.
Chosen tipple. So there's your chosen tipple. So you've got the vodka martini, whatever it may be. You've got the slices there, of course, as well, the olive too. Next to that, you've got some lovely sentiments, gorgeous font on this. You've got celebrate, fabulous friend, time to party. And then you've got your feeling fabulous with the fan, and that fan has actually got the cut lines, so you can actually concertina and the fan together. Very, very clever. That's the attention to detail that Carnation bring you every time. Then you've got the ladies' shoes and the perfume bottle. And as Carla was saying in the first show, probably one of the most useful die sets that you'll ever own is the feather and the fern. Really gorgeous. Now, if you want this collection, good news, it's available, but only 60% left. 40% gone already live at just after 11 o'clock. So if you want it and you've never shopped with us before, the easiest way to actually get it is go to carnationcrafts.co.uk. That's the only place you can get it at the moment. You can pay in full, obviously, with a debit or credit card. You can use PayPal Pay in 3, or you can use also ClearPay if you want to spread the cost interest-free. That's an option for you. And because it's over £50, it's free of any postage charges. So if you order it today, 231201, it will be packed, and it will be posted today. Now, obviously, we're into December. And of course, the postal service is a stretch. So normally we'd say you probably will even get it tomorrow. It may be a day or two, because bear in mind how busy the postal services are. But it will be dispatched this afternoon if you order it today. So 231201 is your item number. That's the main collection. Before I show you some more finished samples, I'm just going to say, bearing in mind how beautiful this collection is and how really versatile the standing tool shapes is. Exactly the same quantity of the standing tool shape die set has gone as well. This is not in the main collection, but it works with it a treat, and I'll show you some finished cards in a tick. So you're going to get obviously your iconic, very angular, there we are, that one there, back to front. So you get a very iconic, that reminds me of the Empire State Building, that sort of thing. And then you've also got the arches down there as well, which could be like a privacy screen, and you can double that up to make a left and a right if you wish to as well. And you get the card stand, which is always handy, so you can use that on all your cards. So all of this together is only £27.99, and this has gone 40% gone as well. So if you want to go for both of them, add them both into your order. They'll be dispatched at exactly the same time. But this is giving you an idea as to how this works. Vera Bow, hello Vera, one of our design team. There's one of the tool shapes used to great effect. You can use one side or the other or both together, it's up to you. And also you can make small cards as well as bigger cards. You can make them as flamboyant as you want, as simple as you want. This one is Vera Bow, just using that centre on the stepper card set to great effect, and that's it been made into an easel card, very nice. And another one that's using the actual stepper card, which I just think is so gorgeous. Think about your metallic cardstock, maybe your mirror card, that sort of thing, or do it in matte. Remember, there's every single piece of artwork available from Carnation's website right now that complements this collection that you can print off right now for free. So if you're wondering how on earth has that been coloured, who does that colouring, it's Nick and his brilliantly talented team at Carnation Crafts HQ that do all the artwork for you. Put it on the website. When you buy a collection, you can go to carnationcrafts.co.uk, click on downloads, and then click on free downloads, and you'll see the artwork there for this collection, which is of course the golden age, and you can print it off as many times as you like, free of charge. Before we go to Carla, which we will do next, perfect papers. Now, perfect papers very often are, well, they're cardstock to start with, 300 GSM, which you all know, 48 A4 sheets. But normally, the patterns on perfect papers are very, very subtle. But because this is Art Deco, they've gone for a bolder, monochrome look. But you've also got this beautiful, almost like a minky colour. You've also got like a mustard colour in there as well, and a fawn too. 48 A4 sheets, 300 GSM, but very, very very much a must-have to go with your main collection today.
I love these.
They're gorgeous, aren't they?
And the colours.
Taz loves them.
The colours, everything.
Yep, it's 231210, $14.99. Do get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you on Facebook or indeed on YouTube. The good news is, if you weren't with us at 9 o'clock, you may be wondering, oh, I wonder if Carla's back. She is. And yeah, looking great, feeling a lot better than you were, which is the main thing.
I'm half back. I'm nearly here. I'm nearly here. They shaved me off this morning and brought me in. No, I'm fine. So let's have a look at Golden Age and see what this is all about. So we've got those Art Deco flavours, haven't we, coming through, that gorgeous luxury that we would expect with Art Deco, but this time brought to us by Carnation, and so it's not going to get better than that. Your quality is going to be there. All of your cut lines are going to be there. All that detail is going to be there. We want it to be brought. Those iconic things, we want Carnation to bring us those, so that every time we're getting the quality that we want, because it's all done to perfection. The main card shape, that stepper card shape, is just absolutely incredible. Orchid rays, and it is so beautifully done with those geometric shapes in it. If you think of the filigree that we get from Carnation and the insane filigree that we've had in the past, often it'll have a floral tone to it. This has got that beautiful geometric shape into it. It'll go wonderfully well with the collection. Taz, you always remember the name of it, and I always forget the name of it, with the lion and the geometry and Moments in Time? No. No. You know which one I mean. Taz will get me it in a second.
It up for you. Yeah.
But it'll go with that one, which also had those very geometrical shapes. One that it's got all that sort of beauty. There's a certain amount of beauty in geometry, isn't there? There's something very. I know there's a whole equation for it with maths. I don't know if you've ever gone into it before, but there's a thing with art and maths. When you put them together for geometry, it creates the most perfect composition, and that's why Art Deco works so well. There is an actual formula to it, and it just works. It was so important to us at the time of fashion.
Janine got to it before I did.
Janine, help me out.
With compliments.
With compliments. Thanks,
Janine Dawson.
Janine.
Thank you, Janine.
For some reason, that one always escapes my memory, and I always have to rely on Taz for it. And I love that collection so much with the owl and all of those. And this will just go perfectly with all of those shapes, won't it? Clever done here with these two little panels that allow you to sort of score in the middle so you can change the height of it. Really beautiful. They're just going to tuck. This is going to tuck behind here and in front of there. It's going to allow that stepper to absolutely come to life. It's truly a spectacular card shape, and one you're not going to get sick of using because it has got all those elements. Remember, if you want to shorten that down, you can, of course, snip certain elements away. You can use the centerpiece independently. You can use the smaller pieces independently too. So you're getting more than one card shape in that one element, but it doesn't just come with the main card shape. We also have this insane array of florals, which is just so beautiful, isn't it? Those yellows, those blues, those gorgeous whites coming through that we can intersperse, we can mix and match, because yellow and blue are always going to be very good friends on the colour wheel. So we can bring the two of those together to draw out all of the colours of Nick's artwork within the clothes and within the shoes, the perfume bottle. Those tonal shifts that come through with the yellows are really important in this collection.
Also, those flowers stand alone. You can use them completely independently of the collection.
Yeah, so we've got these gorgeous orchids that stand. So you've got corner elements, you've got this gorgeous S-line which creates those shapes. If you want to create borders, L's, they're really important here. And then you've got your individual petals and those kind of enamel almost looking brooches. They're just beautiful. It's stunning. From there, look at these. Look at that chap. Isn't he beautiful?
Dapper.
I love his line. I love the grace of his line as he would stand at the border of a card or as your showstopper. There's something very, very structured about him. I love it very much. If you take the time to look at the centre of his panel here, of his waist, and then how the lapels come out, what we're doing is recreating some of the shapes that you'll see as we come through to that upsell that Dave was talking about. And if I just bring this in here so that you can see where you've got your upright and then your two lapels, what we're doing is mirroring. So your whole shapings come together throughout the whole collection because we get in that lovely mirrored deco shaping. Then you've got that dress with that gorgeous shawl as well, the little flapper dress sort of coming through, and you've also got those elements that allow that fabric to flow.
And of course, it's this time of the year more than any other that we're dressing up for, like the office parties and special occasions, special events.
Me dressing up with Cornelius downstairs for our office party. It's all very exciting.
That would be a party to be at.
Got me and Cornelius snoring in a corner, me in a rocking chair and him by my feet.
With his top hat on.
With his top hat. He's very dapper. He would look very handsome in a top hat. Then we've obviously got, is it spats? Somebody told me this yesterday. I can never remember. Isn't it? Brogues. I'm sure it's called spats from the 20s though. And it was a cover, obviously, wasn't it, that went over the shoes as well. So you've got the pair and the singular. Now, they've done this with the male and the female. It's super handy. You can either have it as a singular piece, which is great for building up, and it's obviously slightly sort of longer lined, or we can use the pair. Now, this would then come in for a showstopper, wouldn't it? Imagine if you're making tags for presents with that sitting in the centre of it. It would be very, very beautiful, very long lined. You've got the cane, which is just awesome when it's placed over that male mannequin. It looks insanely good. And then my favourite of all is the top hat, which I love. There is something about that die. I am so chuffed with that. You've got the cut lines on it as well, so we can shape that out, but it's just a really big bonus to have in our collection because the stuff we're making from these. Listen, the whole point about this is the collection is iconic, but so are the cards that you're going to make with it. They're going to be iconic cards.
One of my passions is the Titanic.
Yes.
I love the history. I love everything about it. I'm working on a model on it at the moment. And again, this is taking me to that era. I can see all the people, all the costumes, all the outfits on the ship.
It's all, it is fascinating, all the Titanic stuff. It really is fascinating. Ruined for me slightly by the Kate Winslet film, I have to say. I know everybody loves it, but there you go. You've got this gorgeous fan line here. It's almost like a peacock feather, isn't it? Really, really beautiful as it sits forward. Each one of these with a cut line in it that allows you to concertina that fan to give you the true waving out that you would get with a proper fan. And it's absolutely stunning to use. Now, you can lay it flat, you can layer it up, you can decoupage it up, which looks incredible. You can offset. So if you create, say, 3 of these and you offset each one so it goes round, you'll create these beautiful shapings. Again, that can be done with foam tape. You get the geometric lift as that happens as it goes round as well. So you're getting different shapings. It's a clever, clever piece of artwork. We've got your shoes, which are just beautiful, and see every cut line detail. Not only is that aesthetically pleasing as the shoe because it looks like fabric that is sewn, it also gives us the ability to shape it out. Beautifully done. And then that perfume bottle, which has every cut line there that I can just pinch and it will create that beautiful rotund on that perfume bottle, even down to the little pump. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? And remember those little tonals of the yellow coming through. They poke through the whole of this collection that allow us to make sure everything matches and does not clash. Then we have got probably Miss Taz's favourite board, where you've got your cocktail glasses here. Obviously in various forms. I'd like to tell you what they are. I know nothing about cocktails. We've got an orange one, a pink one, a green one, a brown one and a white one.
Well, you've definitely got an espresso martini.
I know that one.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah, I'd say so. Then you've got, I'd say, a Cosmo, a martini. Lovely.
See, if that was me and that was my house, that would be a hot chocolate in a glass with me and Corny.
That's basically my order, just all 5 of them. I'll have that.
If Miss Taz ever went on Mastermind, that would be her specialist subject. There we go.
Apparently so. Yeah. And then you've got obviously your lemon slices, you've got your orange slices, you've got all of the little bits that will go in your drinks that I would like to tell you more about, but it's a little bit too posh for me. But you've got olives, you've got your mint leaves, you've got your bramble, you've got your straw, your toothpick, your not, you know what I mean, where your olive sits on a cocktail stick thingy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we could have like cheese.
Oh, we could.
We could have cheese.
Cheesy nibbles.
Cheese from With Compliments.
And the steak. Ooh, what an evening.
Pineapple on a stick. I used to love pineapple on a stick. The days of my youth, with a party ring biscuit. Now you've got your ferns and feathers. So you've got that beautiful feather there, and then obviously this is stunning. And the thing is, because the artwork's so delicate on this, you can almost picture it moving in your head if you use your imagination. It's got that sense of movement, hasn't it? Because of the way that the fronds on the feather have been designed, so it looks like it's got almost an animation to it. It's so clever, it's so beautifully done. And remember, again, you've got those oranges that bring the whole collection together. Finally, in this collection, we have got your sentiments. Super, super awesome sentiments. Time to party, celebrate, and fabulous friend. Take a moment to step back from this and look at the artwork for that 3D illusion that we get, where it looks like it has been raised in a bas relief.
What other company gives you artwork for sentiments?
I know.
You're normally left to colour them in yourself. You don't need to when you've got the vignettes.
It's important as well. I think it's the little things, isn't it, as card makers and as crafters, and where we come to depend on Carnation, I think, is again, even the yellows that come through this that allow it to sit with everything else. It takes all of the headache out, doesn't it? So we don't need to worry about it because it just works. It's just stunning. I love that one so much. It really does look like it's about to pop off the page. So that, my friends, is Golden Age, and it is exquisite. It's
Absolutely.
an exquisite, luxurious collection.
Now remember, we've only done one live show and a Facebook Live that Carla did yesterday afternoon. I was watching in Gran Canaria. You did the Facebook Live.
It was you in the end,
me.
because I didn't know if it was you or not, and then it was
It was me.
JVB.
Yeah, and then luckily I wasn't delayed by 2 hours like I thought I was going to be, so I managed to get here in time, which is fantastic. Now, thank you for all of your messages. Lots of you getting in touch. Jacqueline Ward says, I'm back, fed and watered. Can't wait for more lush demonstrations. We're fed and watered as well. Hi, Karen Slade. Hi, Karen, back again for the show. Lisa McLeod, Jacqueline Ward, looking amazing. She says, hope you enjoyed your day. Enjoyed your day? Is that today or yesterday?
I don't know, but Karen Slade, who was Karen Vincent, a massive congratulations to you, lovely, lovely lady. I hope everything went really well, and I hope your honeymoon, I don't know if you're on it or have been on it, but a massive congratulations.
Yeah, she was
So
saying it
huge
reminds her of
congratulations.
cruise ships. I'm sure she said that in the first show. Morning, Carla and Dave. This is Suzanne Page and Miss Taz from a very cold Bognor Regis on the south coast, sitting in warm crafting this morning, keeping myself warm. Linda McLeod again, Jenny West, April Brown Butts. That would be pretty paper pieced, a bit like a stained glass window, and a cross with maybe praying hands on it. That's a really good idea for that main die. But this is another idea for the main die. Look, just using it from left to right, so landscape rather than portrait. Vera's done this, keeping it nice and simple with the brogues and the top hat and the cane there to a fabulous friend. So you don't have to do the stepper card all the time if you don't want to. This is again using it now in portrait mode with Barbara Shredwell, and that actual main image is the perfect size to put the character, the gentleman character or the lady character onto it. And time to party, so that could be a party invitation. But then if you want to make it really all glitzy and glamorous, look at this. Fiona Abbott taking the stepper to its ultimate, adding a bit of mirrored card on there as well. But those feathers and ferns that you were talking about, Carla, that just shows you how it makes it very, very lush, very flamboyant. You use those in all your other Carnation Crafts collections as well. Lots of the elements in collections can be mixed and matched and you moved around. I mean, look at the fan on there as well. Can you see how three-dimensional that fan is? And you've got the cut lines in it. So you can just see how beautiful, there's the dimension of it.
The little gold jewel on it as well, just to really point that shimmer out. I have to say, as cards go, that has got to be an incredible showstopper for this collection. When you start to look at the rich golds and the rich blues coming through, it really does bring out all the joy, doesn't it, of this collection. We start to see it as something that is very Art Deco. It's a really beautiful example. Thank you to the DT team, by the way.
Absolutely. Now look at quickly the standing tool shapes. We mentioned, and Carla in particular mentioned, that they work together really, really well. There's the actual die set look. So you can get the very angular one, very kind of Empire State Building, very theatre, London West End. You're also going to get, of course, the beautiful curved arches as well, which you can, of course, put side by side to make them a left and a right if you want to. And the card stand is in there too. But look at this. Vera has mixed the two together. So she's gone for, if I just turn it around, you can see you've got the left and the right joined together of the arches. And then in the middle, she's used that very angular one with the artwork on it as well to make a fantastic statement, making it into like an Art Deco vase with the ferns coming out of the top, the character both female and male either side. Quite a stunning look. And I honestly think Art Deco is probably one of the most popular eras from a card making point of view. If you go into a card shop, I know it's probably, that's a dirty word to a card maker, but if you go into a card shop just to see what's on the shelves, see what's out there, see what's popular, Art Deco is everywhere. People love it. So if you are buying to make, to sell, then that goes to show you, Art Deco never ever goes out of fashion. So here's your chance to order it today. And if you do want the standing tool card shapes as well, remember that is available as a separate item. It's not included in the main collection. It's only $27.99, and they're kind of even Stevens in popularity. 40% of this is gone. 40% of the main collection has gone as well. And the ways to order, if you're brand new, if you've never seen us before on Carnation Crafts TV or never ordered before from us, just go to the website carnationcrafts.co.uk. You can find the collection there. You can order it there. After you've processed your order, it'll then be dispatched straight away, picked, packed and posted. And of course, you can then print off and enjoy the downloads and the images. And we've got the board to show you the standing tool as well, to have a look at that.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. I think most of you, it would seem by the value of the percentages that we've sold, have bought both together, which makes total sense, doesn't it? Because they go together. This is a really important die set. You've got nesteds. Nesteds are always, I've said it so many times, our best friend, aren't they? And this is a really beautiful way of building up and shaping out. So it looks like those Art Deco windows that we get very fond of seeing, and they're stunning. It's so well done. It's got the hinge element to it that you can see just in the center here, but you can cut between each one, use them independently. You can build up, you can build out. You can have 6 of these together. If you keep piecing them carefully enough, you could really make something, much larger if that's what you want. The all-important stand. Really, really important, because it's got all the elements we need for standing every card up, but even that with artwork there as well, because they don't leave us hanging. There's always an element to it, and this just so important, this piece. Really beautiful, very striking, isn't it? And it's a showstopper element, isn't it? This is the showstopper element in this card collection, where it sits in that center point and it outlines, it's immediately a visual pleasure, isn't it? We get something from it. But this also has got your extra detailing here that you can just see. So if you want to cut the extra pieces to go on top, you absolutely can, and you can do those in corresponding colors, especially if you've bought your perfect papers. That's going to allow everything to come together. Again, you could cut it in mirror card if you want to make it something more like an ornament, for instance, where you've got that gold running through it. Just beautiful, really stunning piece.
Well, that is your choice. You can go for either the main collection on its own, or you can go for the standing tall shapes on their own, or better still, go for both together while we've got this fantastic deal. Remember, that price of $89.99 for the main collection is not going to stay that price forever. It's only there for a limited time. What we do when we do a launch, especially for you watching us on our very own TV channel, is we take the price down, as you'd expect to. That's what we do all the time. Take it down to $99.99 from $129.93. But then, because it's launch day, and for a few days after that, you can still get it for $89.99. So another 10% has come off that price. There's no promo code needed. Everyone gets the extra discount, but only for a limited period. The price will go up. And just again to inspire you, Janine Dawson, again from our fantastic design team, look at this. Just see the contrast between the blue flowers and the white flowers, and how beautiful that card looks when it all comes together. Time to party. But then on the opposite scale, making something diddy and small. Really cute, but equally as gorgeous. This is Fiona Abbott's fantastic work, and just the word celebrate. You know, it just says it all, doesn't it? And having that Art Deco image in the background there as like a backdrop. Absolutely beautiful. So you can make it as big or as small and as flamboyant or as simple as you want with this collection. And it's 231201. And don't forget your perfect papers. I mean, never before have I been really as keen to say to you, if you're going for the collection, get your perfect papers, because this is the first time I've seen perfect papers printed boldly. Normally they're very subtle and they're beautiful for being subtle, but I think the Art Deco really kind of comes into its own with the boldness, the monochrome. You've got your lighter colours there as well, like a soft sage green and mustard colour in there as well. Beautiful kind of 4D taupey colour too. 48 sheets, 300 GSM. That is really going to spectacularly work with the artwork that you can print off right now from our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. Just go there, click on downloads, click on free downloads, and then you'll see the actual artwork for Golden Age there for you. And you can print it off as many times as you want, free of charge. Perfect Pro, no, what am I trying to say?
Pro print.
Pro print, that's it. Pro print paper as well. You can tell about it later. Pro print paper in all the GSMs, that'll be on the website as well, okay? And if you order from us in the UK and you're buying the main collection, no P&P for you, you spent over £50. If you're watching and ordering in the US, it's $4.95 for your shipping and handling for the first collection, and then your cap, and that's $5.95, beg your pardon, and it's $14.95 shipping and handling for anything else. If you're going for the perfect papers or the pro print paper, that can be added into your order too. Right.
So once you've downloaded those and you've got them to computer, you've printed them out on your ProPrint, and you've got a piece of artwork sitting in front of you. Vignette's just a posh word for artwork. You've got it sitting in front of you. We're just going to fold it on that black line. That black line is going to allow me to do what's called a mirrored vignette. A mirrored vignette is unique to Carnation, and it allows us to have an image both on the back and the front of the image that we're doing. I'm going to use some spray glue on mine. You can use a glue stick. You can use various different things. I wouldn't use wet glue, but that's just my preference, my choice, because to me it stands a chance of making. We don't add moisture to paper unless we really need to. Now it's got a certain way that it will fit. Now obviously that is not it. It's overlapping, and you don't want it to obviously cut the wrong way. So if that happens to you and you get confused, you simply need to turn it over, and the die will then fit straight onto it, and it will allow you obviously to just work your magic. I'm just going to put that on top. You can use Cut Tidy for an extra shim too if you so choose. You're just going to chuck it through your machine. It's
so interesting to see what the Art Deco theme here makes you think of. I was saying like West End theatres, I was saying like cruise ships, that sort of thing. Pam Lillington says, this reminds me of a certain shop in London beginning with S. My mother was a model there. Selfridges. Yeah.
Selfridges,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was thinking Harrods. That's an H.
Rolf says, this new stepper is just stunning and so elegant. Thank you, Rolf. Charlotte Palmer says, hello again, team. All on YouTube this morning.
All of the things. So once that's cut out, obviously you have got all your artwork sitting in front of you. So I can just peel away my tape just like so, get rid of all my bits and bats. And here she sits. Now this is obviously the back of her, but already we're starting to see all of that cut line detail coming through. Now to say that that is the back of your mirrored vignette, I think is incredibly special. There's little pokey holes at the back, and that's going to allow me to reveal my beautiful, stunning artwork. Look at that.
Wow.
Okay, so every time you are going to get that perfection with Carnation, as you would expect. When I turn it around, I've still got the image on the other side as well. That means I get to use her in a multitude of different ways, which is what we're going to do with this card. We're going to use that figure.
Does she look like a lady that would turn left? If so, you can have her facing left.
That's right. I wondered where you were going with that then, Dave. So,
When you get on a plane, do you turn
as
left or
opposed
right?
to what? So you've got these little tabs. We did talk about those in the earlier show. I need to put those down to the back, and I'm going to place the other card shape on top. Now, for those of you who might find this difficult to do and tricky to do, and we all have moments, don't we, where it can be, you know, a fuss trying to get things straight. I'm not always the best at getting those things in place. Now, if I put this here, and let me show you what I mean, and then it's more obvious to you. If I fold these down, and I place these on top. So for instance, these two. What I'm doing is adding bulk by having the two of those together. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is going to change it slightly. So it depends what you want. That's a bulkier seal. What I can do, and what I'm going to do, is get rid of those tabs. I'm just going to snip them off. Carnation have put score marks in there, so we know exactly where to cut because it's already done. So I can, with confidence, just cut straight across, and that's just going to help me visually to get it where I want it.
Don't know if you said it. What GSM do you recommend for the card blanks?
Always 350 GSM,
350,
smooth
okay.
card, Carnation. Most card companies, when they're giving you blanks for your cards, will give you a 300 GSM. Carnation give you a 350, and the reason being is you need that support structure that's in place. 350 is a really good, strong card base, and it means it's not going to waff over. It's going to remain strong with all the elements that we put on, and so 350 would be my shout. I don't change from 350 anymore because there's no reason for me to. I feel very uncomfortable using a lower weight when I'm making a card now because it just is all the support I need. So entirely your choice. Just bear with 1 second. I'm just going to shift some bits and bats. There we go. Right, place and place. So I've got all of those elements exactly where I need them, and now I obviously need to attach them. The middle point is obviously going to be too low, and that's absolutely fine. I can just place this one upon
Kate Jude
this one.
says,
Hey, Kate.
Morning Dave, Carla and Miss Taz. I'm desperately trying to sit on my hands. Not sure I'm going to cope. I'd stand up if I were you. Stand up, Kate. You know, it's if you can't resist.
Now that I've got the other two corresponding pieces in place, I can, with some confidence, pinch these together and just place that nicely on top. That's going to make sure I've got all my elements in space. Now I can choose to fold this just at the bottom and just there, okay? And that's going to give me that lovely, lovely point. But I've got some score marks here, so I can actually change that and make it higher. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Can you see? One's bigger, one's lower. The choice is yours. Which do you want to do? Where do you want it to be? Do you want a higher element on your stepper with that full oval, or do you want that lower element on your stepper where it sits below? It's up to you what you choose to do, but that is clever in my opinion. And it really does make a difference visually in where we're going. I'm going to split mine just there so that I can have them the same on both
Carnation
sides.
think of things that other companies would never ever think of.
Yeah, well, they engineer dies, don't
Yeah.
they? So it's slightly different to the companies that we sort of are used to. And I think that's why a lot of people come to Carnation and then can't leave, because we're getting something more than we get from other companies.
But I think another thing that really makes Carnation stand out compared to other companies is that the artwork is done in-house. Nick has a team of incredibly skilled artists that digitally create this amazing artwork. So you know exactly where it's come from, you know the pedigree behind it, and they give you, provided you're making something with it, carte blanche. You can make whatever you want and sell for personal profit or indeed for charity, which lots of you do. I've seen so many posts on Facebook and the like in the last few days of people go to craft fairs,
Yes.
Christmas craft fairs. Most of my cards are Carnation, and they all fly first. They all fly
Yeah,
off
of
the
course.
shelf.
Well, because we're looking at something visually different, aren't we? So
Yeah.
it does make a difference. And because, excuse me, the public aren't really used to seeing always this kind of, you know, caliber of piece and quality of piece. So when they see them, we're immediately drawn to them, and that's a really nice sort of place to
I can't
be.
remember the charity the lady was doing it for, but she was hoping to get £5 per card, which I think is very, very conservative.
Very reasonable.
Very reasonable. And they did look stunning. They really did. And yours will too. Even if it's just £5 per card you get, for good causes, that's an awful lot of money you can raise.
It's just and listen, crafting is a joy, right?
Yeah.
It's the thing that keeps a lot of us sane, and a lot of us we enjoy it, right? There's a lovely mental health break in card making, so it's always a joy to do. Look at those colours coming together.
Beautiful.
These perfect papers are absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change the design the other way to offer that geometric shaping. Actually, this
Judy
one's that
Baker
way.
says, great to see you back, Carla. Everyone's saying
Thank
that, actually,
you,
Carla.
that's
What a fantastic
kind.
collection, as always. Here you are, miss.
What a collection to come back to, right?
I know.
That's something.
They brought out the big guns.
They did indeed. Well, they always do, don't they? To be fair, how many collections have you ever gone, oh, well, I don't like this? Because I haven't, so.
No. I don't think I ever have
No.
thought that.
You obviously get your favourites, but they don't do bad collections. Carnation do not do bad collections, and you cannot make a bad card with Carnation.
I have got the easiest job in the world to be enthusiastic about a collection or a company that just produces such groundbreaking, innovative, beautiful collections at great prices. So yeah, my job's easy.
Look at that, just framing out those beautiful, joyous light colours that we're getting that just sit with that little bit. If we don't stick the whole thing down like we haven't, what are you going to get? You're going to get your beautiful shadows, and it's going to really make everything just pop.
Is that a ceiling rose? Maybe the centerpiece of a ballroom, a dancing ballroom maybe? Is it maybe in the dining lounge on a cruise ship? Someone was saying, I mentioned earlier on, it reminded me very much of Cunard. I've only been on a couple of cruises in my life, but one of them was very traditional and the other was very kind of modern. And they were totally different experiences. If you go on something like Cunard with the Queen Marys and that sort of thing, you'll see all this sort of decor and fantastic architecture and sculptures. Go on something like a more modern cruise line, like Royal Caribbean or something, it's all aimed at families and more fun. Not
Honestly,
quite so classy.
I will be totally straight with you, Dave. I've never heard of Cunard. Cunard, never heard of it, no.
Oh wow, it's the most famous cruise line in the world.
Again,
Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mary.
York Booze Cruise, that's literally...
Isle of Wight Ferry.
Been on the Hull North Sea ferries a couple of times over to Amsterdam and Everton.
So you can tell I'm a southerner, you're a northerner. I do Isle of Wight Ferry, you do the... Yeah.
I once was sat on a ferry to Hull. I'm sure nobody's particularly interested in this story at all, but I was on a ferry from Hull, should I say, to Amsterdam. And there was 3 of us, and we were all sat in a row on the thingy, and the sea was so rough that we were chatting. And when I looked down, all of our dinner plates had moved down one. So I was looking at my dinner going,
I'm sure I did
ordering that.
Brilliant.
Everybody's just shifted. There you go. That was in my young days when I did all of the backpacking.
Yeah. I've never sailed on Cunard, but I've seen pictures and it looks incredible.
We could hire a private yacht, Dave.
That'd be good. I came home on a private jet yesterday.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Did you?
My friend Ryan. It's great.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is he telling you?
My friend Ryan.
Oh, Ryanair. Oh, Dave.
Gotcha.
You know that I'm slow at the minute. I'm slow at the best of times. Today ain't no different, kid.
Hook, line and sinker.
Right. Every time, Dave. It's not difficult with me, is it? Right. What I can do with these is create corner elements so I can raise that forward and bring it and extend that card period. But I really love doing it with that little point that just sits at the edge and frames inwards, because this long line on those orchid flowers are just pointing straight into your central showstopper. So it's almost like you've got fingers going, this is their main scene, this is the point that we're looking at. And aren't they beautiful, those florals? There's just something incredibly pretty about them. Now this is going to be a slightly more pared back card, so I'm not going to put too much on it, because again, what I want to display is how we can go that full out or we can go clean and simple. And clean and simple can just be, very, very important and very beautiful. What we can do is shape these florals out, so get yourself a ball tool and have some fun, of course. So start from the outside, work in on these with that spiral just coming through just on the round there, and they're super, super pretty. That's going to allow some shape and some visual texture to come in. I can then pull these just to the side there, just to give it that extra bit of oomph. Now what will happen is that will create shadows, because I've got that wave of those florals. So under every piece that I've domed, you'll get that shadow play, and it just looks very, very pretty. So again, same thing on the round, starting on the outside edge, working towards your center point, just giving yourself that little cupping out.
And while you're on the website, carnationcrafts.co.uk, look for things like the everyday glue, the tiny lights are back in stock, perfect for your illuminations for Christmas, and ball tools. Everything's there for you.
Look for your deal of the day, man.
Yeah.
Always worth going, checking out what the deal of the day is. Checking out the calendar to see what's coming up, because Carnation also put sneaky sales on the calendar for you to check out. Always really helps. And also this time of the year, one really awesome thing that Carnation have got, which we can really take to town, is of course their gift vouchers. And that's a really good time to get them now, especially if you're late with presents and you can't think of what to get somebody, or you can't, you haven't been able to think of something for yourself.
Well, if you know someone that loves Carnation but can't justify buying it, and they're thinking, oh, they get so frustrated, get a few friends to give, a £10 voucher each or something like that, and before you know it, that person can start buying the collection.
If my memory serves me right, Carnation allow you to buy, excuse me, your vouchers either in digital format or in physical format. So if you actually want that physical present, you're going to need to work on that pretty fast so they can get it posted to you. If you are very late, it's a really good idea to get that email, that digital format on your gift voucher so it can be sent straight to your recipient.
Taz.
Yes, Miss Taz.
They do 10, 25 and £50.
£10, £25 and £50 vouchers available on the website right now. Perfect.
Super useful to have. Now, I'm just fanning this out. I'm not going to go quite the same to town as I did in the last demo that I did with these fans, because I'm actually going to play with the shaping of them. So I am going to have a little bit of wavy texture, but not too much. I'm going to seat one slightly at an angle. I'm going to take this one down. Same thing. So I am shaping, but I'm not trying to pin it into place. So I just want the actual texture of the wave.
And you haven't got to visually see where the fold goes, because Nick and his team have put the cuts where they need to be.
But in that true deco style, if I have this placed, I can place it slightly at an angle as well. But if I place one and then place another, you get that gorgeous deco style that comes through that we're used to seeing in fabrics and various other things from that style period. And it's a really nice way of playing it. What I'm going to do is fill the curvature, the side piece, with pin flare. I'm not going to pin on these bits, and that's because I want to stick my main showstopper to it, and that's got my foam tape on it. So I need my central point to remain fairly flat. So I'm just going to whack a load of this around the edge.
Taz?
Oh, can I just say, I didn't know this, but this is awesome. With your e-gift vouchers, you can include a personal message for the person receiving
that's
it.
nice.
Great. Okay. So yeah, and it's basically an email that can be sent to whoever you want to receive the gift voucher. You can personalise the message as well. So all of that's on the website too. Have a little look, because especially if someone's got a birthday tomorrow, and how often does that happen? You're thinking, oh, it's too late to go out. I'm busy. I'm working. I can't go out to the shops. I can't see them in time for tomorrow. You can actually have an email sent from Carnation to their email inbox with a personalised gift voucher digitally that they can use. So great idea.
Great for Secret Santa presents as well, because it's just all of those different elements coming through. Right, you can see how absolutely stunning that is with that S-curve that comes around with that fan. It's really pretty, right? And what we're doing with the yellow on the backing papers and then the yellow of that fan, we're starting to warm up the tone here instead of cooling it down, because your blues will cool it slightly. So we warm it up with that yellow, and now in order for that not to be in your face, we go in with that beautiful lady that we cut. And I've got her on foam tape. Now, because I've got her on foam tape, I'm not going to be shaping her out too much, and I'm okay with that. But my foam tape is going to give me a support system in the middle of my piece. That's going to allow me to shape out around it, and that's going to give me a form. So if we start to think of your foam tape as being a forming tape, is the best way I can phrase it, because it will allow me to form around that tape to allow that flow of that fabric to come down and round. Now, whenever we're working with paper sculpture, one of the first things we learn with paper sculpture is how to sculpt on a curve. If you're going to create some kind of line between your two pieces and it's on a curve, what happens is magic. It's this.
Oh, wow.
So I get to curve that out, and it's one of the first S-curve tutorials we learn in paper sculpting. So that S-curve that Nick has provided us with allows us to flow that fabric right through. It's a really beautiful and important technique in sculpting.
That's the Carnation difference.
Then I can pull this around and just allow her to have a little bit of shaping. I don't want too much. Now I've got my 5mm foam tape, which is going to raise her up beautifully to give her that lift. She's my showstopper. She is my main part of my scene. I don't want to ground her out. I need her specifically to flow on the middle of those two fans to make sense of her. So I'm going to find my center point around about there.
Wow.
Place her down so she is framed out by those fans. That's going to forgive any lack of grounding at the bottom, because I am basically obviously floating her. So when you're floating something in, you know, if you've just got a dog that is floating in midair, that ain't gonna work. But if you've got something like this where we can purposefully float it, frame it, just give it a solid frame so it makes sense to have it floating, and that will create the difference.
Isn't that
So
spectacular?
it's very simple, very clean, and very, very elegant. This whole collection is going to allow you that style, that matter.
And it doesn't matter how close you get in with our cameras, how close you get in with your own eyes. All you see is perfection. Carnation perfection. Absolutely gorgeous artwork. And remember the vignettes. We call artwork vignettes because we consider it to be posh, so we give it a posh name. So if you go to the website, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk, go to downloads, and then go and click on free downloads, and then you'll see the vignettes there. Just search for the collection, which is Golden Age, and all the artwork there. You can print off all the artwork for the characters, all the artwork for the fans, even for the verses as well. There's artwork for absolutely everything, and it's free of charge. So that's kind of Carnation's gift to you with every collection that they bring out. 231201. I've got to read this quickly. Sue Roston. Hi, Sue. She says, I tried sitting on my hands, a bit like Kate was saying. The pull was too much. Ordered, paid for, waiting for delivery. Nice one, Sue. And then Kate came back to me, the lady that was sat on her hands. She said, you guys have led me astray. I purchased the full collection. It's all Dave's fault. My husband is paying for it for me for Christmas. Kate? Nice one.
Good husband.
You're
good
welcome.
husband.
Love it.
We like a good husband.
Now, shall I show you quickly a few more finished cards, and then we're just going to move on to another demo as quickly as we can. Now, this one, I don't think we've shown this yet. Janine has done this. Is this bringing in a little bit of...
Oh, Janine, you fancy pants. That's pretty spectacular.
Now, that's
isn't it?
using the fantastic perfect papers that are here. So you can see why they've included the more dramatic monochrome Art Deco. That really works as a gorgeous backdrop. Very stylish. Using the two fans side by side. The Art Deco image from the main die set, that, of course, is featured at the top and at the bottom there as well. Isn't that lovely? Oh no, that was in the tall. What was it called? Standing tall. Yeah. So that was in standing tall. All the rest of it, of course, is in the main collection. But really lovely. Something very different. And black and gold. You can't go wrong with black and gold, can you? Look at this with a little bit of mirror card. So this is using only 2/3 of the stepper, so not using the one on the left, just using the one on the right, or your left on screen. And that's done by Sudal Import from the design team. I always like to give the design team credit where I can, and they always write their names on the back, which is handy for us. Thank you for that. But isn't that beautiful, using mirror cards? And look, gorgeous. Remember, the flowers are in white, in yellow, and in blue. So if the blue's a bit too heavy, you want something a bit lighter, then there is the kind of confirmation. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, the standing tall that I just referred to, this is going to give you, I call it like a privacy screen effect. Also the card support, which is the triangular one at the top just there. And also the most iconic, I think, Art Deco image. I mean, you can imagine like a band performing behind musical stands like that. That's the sort of thing you see, isn't it, in theatres and in dance halls. Now, 50% of the stock of standing tall has gone. Okay.
Is it the Oscars that's got a shape like that at the front of the stage?
I think it could
when they
be.
receive,
Yeah.
Is it the Oscars or the Emmys? They've got there's a stand that looks like that at the front where they.
Or loads of theatres are Art Deco inspired. I mean, yeah, all around the country, all around the world, to be fair. So if you fancy this one, standing tall, it's available on its own for $27.99. If that's all you want, that's fine. But if you want to add it to your order with the main collection, then that's even better because they work together so well. Okay, Carla's got another demo.
Right, I want to look at standing tall and just look at a different way of actually bringing that together. So in the last show when we did that, we put one piece over the top of the other to create that shape. And there is an alternative to that as well, which I really like doing and I really enjoyed doing it in demo. If I take my second piece and I fold it back on itself, so it sits there like that and you've got that shaping there. And then I take this here, and I place that over so those two hinges meet. So I've got this element and that is going to sit behind as that larger stand. Now that means from behind, if I wanted to, I could decorate out those with those feathers. Okay, so I would get that beautiful framing at the back of the card, which also then still falls flat for postage. So really beautiful to have, right? Because we've suddenly changed the way that card works. There's so many ways of making that card. It's such an extraordinary card shape to stand in tall. So please, please just go to town on that. Right, we're going to do a quick demo for this one. I've got the two fans. Again, I love working with these in pairs. They make me very, very happy. I'm going to overlap. And I'm just going to allow that little triangle at the top, okay? So it's like I've got a slice cut out of it. And you can, you know, change that up into different formations. You can make it smaller, you can make it larger. It depends where you want that opening to be. So whatever works for you. For this, I want it to be relatively open. So I think I'm probably going to place it about there to create that fan formation. Now I'm going to glue the two of those together. I'm keeping it relatively flat. I don't want too much shaping on it. But if I put a little bit of wet glue here, just down, so that'll hold its form. Turn it and do that at the other side, just so that I am gaining support through the fan shape. A little bit too much wet glue there, but still. So I've got that, okay? And I've got that shaping to it. Now, if I wanted to, because they line up, I could still concertina that as one whole. But actually what I'm going to do with it is instead just very gently curve it. Now, obviously what we can start to do then is start to create your little sort of almost round pieces if you wanted to create others. But I just want to just play with that shaping really and allow it to sit.
So you can make it look like a rosette if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's just going to give it that little bit of height and difference. Now, what I don't want to do at this point really is put pin flare on. And the reason for that, of course, is that when I go to close the card, what I don't want is the pin flare shunting through. However, I don't know if you can see it from above. Can you see how that give in that triangle is allowed that to sit slightly forward? Anything I took under there is now going to seat perfectly. So up to you how you want to play with that, but I like that idea. If you're worried at all about that fold that's happening, what you can do is just place a little bit of glue on either of those pieces and it will automatically fold, or alternatively seat it down where it is there and push with it in, and then you'll know where your fold line is and that will fold in with the card, you know, if it sits forward. It's up to you what you choose to do. But there's lots of different ways, and I just wanted to show you some different variants so that when you've got it home, you've got different techniques to use. So little pieces of wet glue here, not much. Glue is sticky. I'm just going to place that down.
Still haven't got that t-shirt for you, yeah. The glue is sticky on the front of it.
Glue is sticky.
Can you see the detail? The actual brackets, the hinges in between the panels. That's the Carnation Crafts difference.
It's like a skirt, isn't it?
It's amazing. Yeah.
They're so detail oriented. It's a real pleasure to work with something that has got that much detail basing in it. Now I want to build some florals up, and I'm going to start to almost cover up those fans. I don't want to cover it completely, but I am going to go for my midpoint and I'm going to face each one off each other. So I'm going to start with those blues and I'm just going to allow that to flow. Now I like symmetry, as you all know, so I'm going to do that so it is symmetrical and I do have that balance and flow coming from it, which I really like, and I think it's really structured. But I'm going to follow it through with some yellow. So I'm going to place this one down first. I'm not gluing very high up. I don't want it to be so pinned down that I don't get a flow of movement from the top, because flow of movement is really beautiful and just something very pretty to look at. So going from that point up, a little bit on the inside here and on here. Take it through, got it about there. Okay, and that's got that. Now we're going to just start drawing down. So from this point, if I do the reflection of this one and I start to bring it, can you see how we're getting that curvature and we're leaving that beautiful piece of span on the inside of that fan? And it's really pretty how that works. So we're going in here, straight on top, just slightly overlapping at this bottom point so that this starts to come out, and we're just raising through. It's so pretty, this card shape. I'm really smitten with it. I love working with card shapes that offer me more, if that makes sense, and this absolutely does.
And if you're thinking I can never do what Carla's doing, you can, but before you put the glue on, just do it dry. Do it without any glue to see what looks best, and just play around with it.
It's paper and glue. We can all do all of it.
That's true.
None of us are more skilled. We're just some of us more experienced. And that's the only difference. We can all get to the same point. Right, I've got my top hat, but I've also got this, and I love this. Isn't that just a joy?
Yeah.
There's a real joy in that piece. I'm going to take this very gently. I don't want to do anything with the bottom particularly, although I could round it, but I do want to just pull that and just shape that and shape that so that it gives me that gorgeous 3D sort of shaping that I want, and that is going to sit proudly at the front of my card, okay? So I've got all of those elements coming through. I should just get a little hint of the fan behind, so I've got a colour tone coming through from it. I've warmed that tone at the bottom. I'm going to place some wet glue, some pin flare just at the bottom here. Place that on top. Now, I can leave it like that, and I'll be totally honest, it looks so pretty, but I am so smitten with this top hat, and I am going to put that at the front because I love it so much.
A floral display if you walk into a really posh hotel in the foyer. Yeah, something that everyone will just stop and gasp at. And then the top hat, I mean, that then turns it possibly, it could be a music stand for a band on a stage. It could be something architectural, like a building design or building. Beautiful.
So you can start to see how, with some of the most basic skills, we can really produce some of the most extraordinary cards, namely because you cannot make a bad card with Carnation.
These two cards were made in this 1 hour from Carla. We've still got another hour to go with you at 1 o'clock this afternoon, between 1 and 2. Thank you for all of your messages. Just say hello to a few of you. Karen Slade's been in touch a few times. Hi, Karen. Judy Baker says, I've been bad too, couldn't resist. Linda McLeod says, beautiful card. Yeah, just fantastic. So thank you for all your real positive messages. And remember, the story is, basically it's neck and neck with the popularity of the standing tall card shapes, which is basically what Carla was working with just then, with that real beautiful Art Deco angular design. And then you've got, of course, the privacy screen there as well, as I call it. And then you've also got the stand, of course, for your card backs too. So that, if you want that, is only £27.99. There it is. That's separate to the main collection, but it works with it so well. And that's 231209. If you want the main collection, though, it is available, remember, on ClearPay and also PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to spread the cost interest-free. This time of the year, why not? We're all kind of, looking after the pennies at the moment. So if you want to stretch it over to either 4 payments with ClearPay or PayPal Pay in 3, you can do that on our website as well. Just before we go for this show, just want to show you a few more. Barbara Treadwell's done this. I've not shown you this one yet, but it just goes to show you don't always have to do big and fancy. Clean and simple. The collection that we had last week actually with Dawn, wasn't it? She did a couple of shows last week.
Dawn did the new one, but that's the first Clean and Simple, and it's absolutely stunning. And then Dawn did the, was it the Pretty Petals? Proud Petals, so apologies. Dawn did that last week, so we've now got 2 Clean and Simples to go out, and they're stunning.
But it shows you how you can mix and match your collections. So there you've got, of course, the glass, the cocktail glass, that's been featured in this collection today, but you can mix and match it with your Clean and Simple and various other collections you've got from Carnation as well. I just wanted to show you this one before we say cheerio. Barbara Treadwell's done this, but can you see, it shows the hinges. It's only a little thing, but it's the attention to detail that Carla was talking about that really sets this apart. No one else that I know would give you artwork for the hinges for the panels.
Absolutely stunning, isn't it?
It's gorgeous.
Really beautiful. That card is alive.
Yeah.
I love that. Absolutely love that movement.
Well, we're going to be back with more demos then at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Remember, tune in then. You can watch the shows back as long as you like on YouTube. And remember, as long as we have the stock, you can get this at this price for a limited time only. $89.99 is the price today if you want it, with the extra discount applied. In a few days' time, that discount will no longer apply, and it will be $99.99. So get it today. And if you're being bought it as a treat, congratulations. Hooray! Is it an early Christmas present, or is it going to be your Christmas present, or are you just treating yourself for one of the most popular kind of eras in, I was going to say card making, not really, in life, Art Deco? It's here. And if you want it, remember it's called Golden Age. We'll see you in about an hour.